All right, so what prompted the creation of PD 120?
Okay, well, we see a need among many of our students to help tailor their expectations about what college is going to be like. Help them understand what the layout and culture of the campus is like so they can better learn to navigate that. But at the same time, help them prepare for the most advanced varieties of coursework they're going to encounter. We've had study skills classes in the past, and those have been moderately successful. But now we have an opportunity to redesign those study skills classes based on things that we've learned through our ALP approach to Dev Ed in English, based on what we've learned about engagement strategies in the classroom from AVID, and also based on a whole battery of research about what makes an effective first-year experience class. For starters, one problem with the way that the study skills classes have been implemented in the past, and with the pilot versions of this course, is that they were inconsistent from section to section to section. So we learned a lot from that process and from having various teachers applying their ideas and developing their own curriculum. And now we've consolidated all of that into the best of all worlds curriculum. All teachers who are going to be teaching this class will go through a fairly rigorous training. That will happen on 2 occasions this summer. There will be an introductory training on one day, right around the same time as Summer Jam in May. It will be the Saturday last day Summer Jam for just people teaching this class. And then in August, there will be a fully 2-day training that helps bring teachers along in terms of the class philosophy, but also the class implementation. And both of those are really important. The class philosophy has to do with an improved emphasis on things like metacognition, like mindfulness, like growth mindsets versus fixed mindsets, like how to participate in a classroom, and a certain approach to rigor. And I'll tell you more about that in a second. But in terms of the delivery in the class, we're teaching teachers to internalize and learn to be fluid with the implementation of a series of high engagement strategies that are research backed and demonstrate that they help students step up to the challenges of classroom work. So in other words, we have students talking constantly. These classes look different from almost all other classes because students do almost all of the talking, and they do almost all of the talking to each other as opposed to the teacher. We teach them about Bloom's taxonomy, and we have them referring to Bloom's taxonomy themselves over the course of a day in relation to particular exercises that they're encountering. The content is research backed as well. We've learned that first year experience courses help students be more successful, have a higher GPA, and retain if those courses have them reflect on their goals in a really concrete way, their professional goals, and how to connect up various academic routes to those professional goals. So with every single thing we talk about in the class over the course of the semester, 3 units roughly that are divided into self, community, and world, we'll be asking students to identify what their goals are in the context of that, and we'll be teaching them what academic routes and considerations are relevant to that particular professional route. Let me give you an example. We read one article about city planning and what constitutes appropriate urban design and how urban design influences a culture in deep ways. Things like a gated community versus a dense urban environment, what the advantages and disadvantages are of those. And in the process of taking on this advanced reading and supporting students to take on the advanced reading, we'll also be having discussions that ask them to think through what kinds of career paths are related to that particular field. So if it's about urban planning, the teachers will be coached to have the students brainstorm and learn about what kinds of careers are related to that. And then in addition to that, what academic fields and trajectories are likely to prepare somebody for a career in that area. My students' minds have been blown when I tell them that there is anthropology and that people make a career doing that. And when they learn that what they think of as important, what they're pursuing as a goal, graphic design, has implications in areas and fields that they hadn't considered. And we think that that's critical to helping students maximize their education and conquer college. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, one of the things I really enjoyed that you did on Saturday that I thought was a great selling point is that you're actually making students do homework assignments that actually incorporate another class. I thought that was a really innovative idea that I hadn't
Yeah.
heard. I haven't even read it in the research I've read that they've actually done that. So I thought
Okay.
that was a really neat thing to add in.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
One of the things that has worked well so far in the pilot versions of this class, and which we're really excited about expanding on in the full version, the full Kung Fu that comes out in the fall, is first of all, giving students tools to take on advanced reading. So we're going to support them by a series of avid informed strategies that we've also developed and improvised on our own that give students tools like reading logs, for example, to get their heads deep into material that is at a college level of rigor. And then in addition to that, just like you were saying, we're going to ask students to fill out reading logs, like the ones we signed up for the readings in our class, for readings they encounter in other classes.
Mm-hmm.
We teach them Cornell notes, and not just how to take notes, but also a process of revisiting their notes that's informed. We teach students to understand how their memories work and how to best take advantage of the fact about how their memories work. And then when they take those notes, we'll be also insisting and requiring, as part of the grade of this class, that they take and review notes. They make, and review notes for things that they, for lectures and course sessions and exercises encountered in other classes as well. A third way that we're going to have this class impact their experience in other classes is by having them form study groups in those classes. In one version, this could become something really robust. It could be that they form an actual learning community. But at least we're going to have them do the work of collecting the names and contact information of study buddies in those classes. So if they miss class, they know who to contact. Basic college survival stuff that some people are really intimidated to do. We think by saying it's a requirement that you go ask Aaron Slimp for his phone number in this class, it'll give them it'll make it easier for them to do that. They can go up and say, so Mr. Tubner wants me to get your phone number so we can be in a study group, and they'll overcome some of the insecurity they might have about approaching other students.